Lord of the Ring games have had a pretty great track record over the decade or so, as we have had some really solid releases. From Shadow of Mordor to the many mobile game releases, the franchise has done well in the gaming sphere. So when this new game was announced for the franchise, fans went crazy. Today we're going to discuss what we can expect from Lord of the Rings Gollum and when we can expect it in 2022. First up, what can we expect from this game? The Lord of the Rings Gollum is a very important game for the future of the Lord of the Rings in the gaming world. It's been a while since another console Lord of the Rings game was released, and this one is in the next generation, so it needs to stand out as a great game or else the franchise might not recover. Ever since the Shadow of War and Mordor games were released, fans have been waiting for more ventures into the Lord of the Rings world. Gollum should fill that hole for them, and we're super excited to learn more about it. It's been confirmed that the game will be released on September 1st on all platforms. Sadly, the Nintendo Switch version has been delayed indefinitely because of some development issues internally. The game is set to be released just before Amazon's new Lord of the Rings series, The Rings of Power. So what is Gollum about? Well, here's the game's synopsis. The Lord of the Rings Gollum, based on the legendary The Lord of the Rings trilogy of books by J.R.R. Tolkien, tells of Gollum's experiences from behind the scenes in the chapters of the Fellowship of the Ring. After losing his precious ring to Bilbo Baggins, Gollum decides to leave the Misty Mountains and embark on a perilous journey that leads him from the dungeons of Barad-dûr to the realm of the Wood Elves in Mirkwood in order to survive the dangers of this journey through Middle-earth. The note continues. Going into what we can expect on a gameplay level, Gollum has to sneak and climb and use all his cunning. He will also have to deal with his own hobbit, Smeagol. It will be up to the players to let Gollum make the important decisions or let Smeagol take over and do it himself. In addition, throughout the adventure, Gollum will meet familiar characters from the books, as well as some new faces. This game is sounding incredible, and from the short gameplay we've already seen, it's going to be great. The game looks promising, and the fanbase seem content with what they've seen so far. What do you think about this game? Let us know down in the comments section below. This game should be a milestone for the franchise, and really plans out the future of the Lord of the Rings in the gaming sphere. Gollum has a lot to live up to, as the past few Lord of the Rings games have been phenomenal. Both Shadow of games were successes, and so many people love them. Even those who didn't know much about the Lord of the Rings beforehand really enjoyed these games, as they were accessible to all. Gollum seems to be much more lore-focused, so it might not be a game for everyone. This is where the game might fail, as if you're not a major fan of the Lord of the Rings, or don't know a whole lot about it, the game might just be bad for you. Well, we don't know just yet, but we are excited to see how this game plays out. Did you know that this isn't the only Lord of the Rings gaming announcement that is releasing soon? Well, stay tuned to this video to find out more, and some other gaming news from the last few weeks. Next, a new Lord of the Rings mobile game in development at EA. We have had so many Lord of the Rings game titles over the past 10 years or so. Some have been fantastic, and others a little lackluster. Today we have been blessed with a new Lord of the Rings game coming from EA. This new game is set to be a mobile game in partnership between EA and Middle-earth Enterprises. The game has been titled Lord of the Rings: Heroes of Middle-earth. From what we already know, the game is going to be an RPG or role-playing game with a fun turn-based combat system akin to something like Pokemon or Final Fantasy. While the roster hasn't been announced just yet, we do know that the game should have many of your favorite characters and many others. The game is going to also take the player through an incredible story that goes through some of the most important and iconic stories from the books and the films. We are thrilled to be working with EA once again, this time to bring a mobile game solely inspired by Middle-earth as described in the literary works of J.R.R. Tolkien to its fans, said Frederica Drados, Chief Brand and Licensing Officer for Middle-earth Enterprises. This is not the first EA Lord of the Rings game, and it's far from it. EA produced a few games back in the early 2000s, and most recently, the Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor and War games. These games were created by Monolith Productions, but housed in EA. These games are some of the best Lord of the Rings games in a long time. You should check them out if you're at all interested in the franchise or gaming. This newly announced game has been revealed to be free-to-play, which means you'll probably be paying money for characters and costumes. But that isn't all bad. Let us know down in the comments section below how you feel about this new game and the future of the Lord of the Rings gaming sphere. Now, the lead up to the recent Fortnite Live event was crazy. Before the massive season-ending event happened on June 4th, for many days before, Epic Games were sending creators like Ollie some hints towards what was about to happen. Ollie received these hints because he was a massive name just a few days ago before his Icon series skin had just released. He received received images on Twitter periodically that slowly made up a map of the plan in the game. The plan was for a massive mecha bear to take down the villains in Fortnite, ending the war that we've been following for a year now. The event then went down on June 4th, and it was incredible. It was a super interactive event with your squad of 4 players taking down the IO and destroying their machine along with their leader, Sloan. You may have won the fight, but a new one is just around the corner. We saw both Jonesy and the Foundation head off into another world to take on what could possibly be the next big bad in the Fortnite universe. We also then saw Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader fighting in a portal, leading into Darth Vader appearing in the new season's Battle Pass. He will show up later in the story to fight against our characters and possibly serve as the new villain of this season. The Fortnite map has been overtaken by vibes, mushrooms, and what seems like a new character for us to fight against. While we haven't seen this character yet, hints in the files and the loading screens point towards one creature being behind the new map changes. Recently, Fortnite has made some massive changes to its gameplay, and fans are finally loving the game again. From no more building to movement techniques, Fortnite has revamped itself, and it's slowly taking over the Battle Royale scene. Once again, did you take part in the recent Fortnite Collision event, or did you miss out on it for some other games you're engrossed in right now? Let us know down in the comments section below. And finally, is a Borderlands 2 remake around the corner? 2022 marks the 10th anniversary of Borderlands 2, and fans are begging Gearbox for a remaster or remake of some sorts. While Borderlands 2 is considered the best game in the franchise and almost perfect, the fan base wants some changes. Borderlands 3 and even Borderlands the pre-sequel introduced some really game-changing mechanics that fans want to be included in Borderlands 2. They also want some generic changes to the enemies and drops. This has been added to the game in the form of mods from the fan base, but nothing in an official capacity. Fans are wanting a remake of Borderlands 2, and it makes a lot of sense to release one this year, being the 10th anniversary of this amazing game. We've had no word from Gearbox, but with the Borderlands movie coming soon, it's a huge year for the franchise. They'd be dumb not to put out a remake or even a remaster of this phenomenal game. What do you think about all this? Let us know down in the comments below. Borderlands deserves something new this year at least. And that's the end of today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed this latest video, and if you did, please let us know down in the comments section below. It would be very helpful. Make sure to like the video, comment below, and of course, subscribe to the channel with the notification bell rung. Thank you for watching today's video. Bye!